It is showtime. We are live here, Circle Leadership Headquarters. Dave Clare coming to you from the HQ studio. Uh, really excited about today's live stream. Going to keep it short and brief, but powerful. This one's all about growth versus evolution. It's a really fascinating thing or a concept that we see a lot of right now. Is everybody's talking about you got to grow your business, and it's all about growth and business growth and personal growth, and understand that. And please, as a preface to all this, I'm not going to suggest that growth is bad. What my concern is, or our concern is, that we've seen so many people and businesses do what we call grow out of business, and I'll explain that in just a moment. But right now, if you look at the speed that things are happening at, everything, the rate of change, everything that's going on in business and in the world, things are happening at lightning speed, and that's only going to accelerate. This is causing a lot of people to have to try and keep up with that in terms of the speed of their business. This is then leading to burnout, stress, increased costs. We're struggling to find people to be able to serve people. All these sort of things that are happening right now. And a lot of it I put down to just having a growth mindset. Now, please understand that growth is good in certain circumstances, but growth mindset as a sole way of thinking about your business is a dangerous thing, because what can happen is you can grow out of business. Let me explain that, because people are like, what? Grow out of business? Yeah, instead of going out of business, you actually grow out of business. Your business gets so big or so cumbersome that you can't move with the market. We don't need to go into too many examples that you may be well aware of in the world where businesses just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and we're doing more and more and more, and all of a sudden the market shifted or changed, and they weren't able to keep up with that. And guess what happened? They went out of business, or they lost significant shares of their business because they weren't able to adapt, to improvise, to overcome, to all these wonderful little cliches that we have about life and business. So if you are experiencing stress, burnout, increased costs, trying to keep up with the speed of things, let me ask you this one simple question. Do you feel like you're working longer and harder than you've ever had to before just to keep business where it is? Are your team working longer and harder than they ever have before just to keep up with the work that's going on right now? If that does resonate with you and or your team, this might be of interest to you. So these are some of the challenges with growth. Okay, now growth is so good because hey, you're serving more. The fundamental concept of growth for a business is it's about being more for more. How do we be more of what we are? How do we double down on what we and serve more people? And look at doing what we're doing, but just doing it for more people. And as you do that, which is great, you can add more clients, you can do things, but you might need to bring on more people, more systems, which is where costs start to creep up. There's nothing saying, hey, we put on $1 million worth of new business this year, but it cost us $950,000 to do it. And taking all that extra risk and pressure to make the extra $50,000, was it worth it all? So growth is okay because it's an expansion of your things, like you're expanding your business. So if we can understand that and park growth over here to the side from it. So growth is about being more for more. Now, on the other hand, you have the opportunity to evolve your business. Now, evolution, what it is the steady progressive increase of our capabilities and our capacity for greatness. So when you think about evolution, I'll come back to it in a second, in terms with growth, we have a certain amount of capacity. Now, if you look at just as an individual, we have a certain amount of capacity. Your team have a certain amount of capacity in the workplace. And so when things get a lot more hectic and we need to do more and be more and of what we are for more people, well, if you're only focused on growth, you have limited choice. But here's what you do: you add more, or people start pinching from the end and the beginning of their days. So do people working longer and harder and stealing that capacity from life to put into business? So either you have to add more, or people have to start pinching more. And this is where the stress, burnout, and everything comes from. Evolution, on the other hand, says, well, what if we actually became more and then we're more of that, and then became more and we're more of that, and became more and we're more of that? I'm going to show you on the whiteboard in a second here what that looks like. Right? So I want you to understand the difference between growth is about being more for more, and evolution is about becoming more. So when we want to look at our business to evolve and stay relevant, so we don't grow out of business, the whole point of this is to make evolution the natural state of your business, where you can have growth spurts along the way. If you're just focused on growth, you're going to be in big trouble, I think, going forward, because history has told us that people who just focus on growth only can end up going out of business. So let's have a look at that simplistically on the whiteboard here. So this is a simple thing that we use to explain people the difference in growth and evolution. So firstly, if you look at your capacity here, this is how can we be more, as we talked about from a growth point of view, for more people. So we have this finite capacity, and as mentioned, if we want to increase our capacity, well, we either have to pinch more from one end of the spectrum or the other, or add more capacity in, which comes at a cost. However, from an evolution point of view, what it says is if we steadily and progressively increase our capabilities, we will increase our capacity. The more we increase our capabilities, the more we can increase our capacity. Because this one is actually more focused on becoming more. So from an evolution point of view, I guess what the objective is to become more and then be more of that. So become more and be more of that, become more and be more of that, become more and be more of that. So that this way, what we do is we create evolution as the natural state of our business. Now, business is a series of evolutions. Please understand, if you look at your business where it was 2019, 2020, just before the world went upside down, is your business exactly the same today as it was 3 years ago? Most likely not in most businesses. And when you look at where your business is today, will it be the same business in 3 years' time from now? Most likely not. Why? Because business is a series of evolutions. So what's the next evolution of your business? What does that next evolution of your business look like? And we've talked about this in the last few weeks in terms of your mission, right? Because that's there to evolve us. And then you start reverse engineering your organization from where it is today in your current reality into becoming the organization that it needs to become to stay relevant in the hearts and minds of the people that it chooses to serve, by increasing your capabilities and your capacity for greatness. So the challenge here is to have an evolution as a natural state where you can have growth spurts along the way, instead of having growth as the natural state of your business. Because once you start growing, we've seen this through numerous cycles in the past 20 years. If you just go back to the, even in the mid, 2014, 2015, here in Australia, we went through a construction boom in mining, and businesses were just growing and growing and adding capital and, more people, more vehicles, more buildings, everything like that. And then the construction boom ended and mining continued on, but the construction boom ended. And then people had this big, massive beast that needed to be fed. And the market had shifted and changed. Consumer demands had changed. And when those things changed, they weren't able to adapt quick enough. So Darwin theory suggests that it's not the business or the species, we'll do it this case, the species that's the fastest, most intelligent, whatever it is that survives. The one that survives is the one that's able to adapt to its ever-changing environment. Now, I added the ever-changing in there, but it's Darwin theory said to its changing environment, but I've said ever-changing environment because our environment's going to constantly be changing. So you need to ensure that evolution is the natural state, because in the past, when we had predictability, we had 10 years of this, 10 years of that, and 10 years of that in cycles that would happen, 10 or 15-year cycles. It was fairly predictable, but we are in our generation's most uncertain of times. Now, every generation's had their own uncertainty, but this is our generation's most uncertain of times. Nobody has a clue how it's supposed to be done now, but things are going to be happening faster, and there's less predictability, shall I say, in the future at the moment. But in the uncertainty, should be an exciting times, because there's limited opportunity and predictability, but there's tremendous opportunity and uncertainty, because not everyone nobody actually has a clue on how it's supposed to be done anymore. I was speaking with a client last night, and they're talking about, this is the first time in my 20-something years of businesses where I've actually had to start looking at a few things differently, or I'm doing things that I've never had to do before. And I was saying, 2 years through the pandemic, from 2020 to 22, and now here we are in 2023, nobody knows what this was, or had an idea of what they're going to need to do for this. No one knows what to do. So do what you think is best for your business. What's going to help you to evolve and stay relevant? And there's going to be things that are thrown at us that we've never experienced before. But is your organization, are you ready? Is your organization ready to be able to respond to those things instead of reacting to those things? One of the greatest things that happened for our clients through the pandemic was the feedback we got from them is, hey, Dave, you know, the beauty of having this evolution mindset in our business now is that we were able to respond to what was happening. We didn't have to react to it. Reacting is just without thought. Responding is at least being able to put thought into it and going, okay, how are we going to handle this and make sure our people are safe? But they were able to respond to it. They were prepared in terms of to evolve their organization. So are you reacting to what's happening in the world? Are you going to continue to react to what's happening in the world? Are you going to position yourself to be able to respond to it? Are you going to move yourself into a position where you can be proactive and lead the change and be the disruptor in your industry? You won't do that with a growth mindset. You'll do that with an evolution mindset with growth spurts along the way. So please don't grow out a business. Make evolution the natural state of your business. Then you can look for the growth spurts along that journey. But then at least you're always, the natural state is that we're always adapting and preparing for and anticipating the future needs of our clients, our marketplace, so that we can actually stay relevant in the hearts and minds of the people that we choose to serve, and then have wonderful growth spurts along the way for that. All right. So growth versus evolution, you choose. Growth is good, but it's way better on the back of evolution. So make evolution the natural state, have your growth spurts, anything we can do to help, look forward to it. If you'd like this, the template or the model that we went through, please just put, let's just put evolve or die. So till next week, guys, have a great one. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate the love. I see people following and looking at watching the video. We'll see you next week, and I'm not sure what we're going to cover next week, but I'm sure Jordan will tell me, because Jordan runs everything these days for our business. So looking forward to seeing you all live next week. Have a great day, and remember, evolution is the natural state of your business.